I thought it was important to go get made, man, because we got a significant history. I grew up with him. We ran in gangs together back in the day when I was like 13 or 14. The guy's very intelligent. He's smart. He did time. There's so many things that we got in common. I got a tremendous amount of love for him. I think it's only right that I bring my brother on. How you feeling, man?
Man, I feel good, man.
How's everything been?
You know, one moment at a time.
Kids?
That's about it. Beautiful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Man, I want to listen today because you're sharp and you got your own opinion about things, and we can talk about whatever. But I know there's some certain things that kind of weigh on your heart that you like to talk. You passionate about shit, man.
Right.
And grab one of those things out of your head and just run with it, and we'll just flow from there, bro.
Okay. Cause we were just, riding and talking, and that was something that just came one of the meal, the conversation we was having in the car
About the stores.
about the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's something I'm real passionate about, and as being someone from the community that has taken so much from the community, as I'm sure you can attest,
Yes, sir.
the same thing. Even when a dude was out here doing the things he was doing, a dude always still try to sow seeds of love, if that
Right.
makes sense.
It do. It do.
Because you still treat the elders with respect. You still try to foster that sense of community, even though the things you was doing was kind of
Negative.
it was negative, but the fight was still in you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that kind of peeved me when I came home was the state of affairs inside of our community as far as ownership.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With ownership with property and business.
Property, businesses, what have you.
Yes, sir.
And being from these communities and coming down through here and seeing the disparities inside the community, a bunch of dilapidated properties, but then you have so many people from outside the community coming inside of our community, trying to buy everything.
Right.
You know, you can't call it. But
I told you it would. So you feel like you need to go back and kind of reclaim some of that, or you feel like you need to encourage the younger generation to get to be responsible for that? Let it again. Toilet paper. That's all it's going on your lip now. When you come down with a little cold, it's gone.
Let me say this. We can't reclaim something that's kind of past us. And what I mean, I'm not saying that we can't rectify the situation as far as getting ourselves financially literate concerning some things about ownership and buying property, selling property, and just things of that nature. But it's gonna be hard to get what we should have had the first claim on out of the hands of those who have gotten a hold to it, because they see the value in it. See, we didn't see the value in a lot of these properties down here in West Louisville. We didn't see the value in it, we kind of ran it to the ground, and the outside people actually seen the value in it. But if you know anything about the city of Louisville,
Yes, sir.
this whole West End was white folks at one point in time. You know what I mean? And I believe that
Let me ask you, was that before the Great Flood or after?
I think it was before the Great Flood.
Right.
I think it was in 34. Right?
Okay, yeah.
The flood was in 34.
So it was before that.
So it was before that. Once they seen that majority of West Louisville was actually in the floodplain, that's what kind of created the white flight.
Right.
Not to such a degree to where blacks started to just flock to the West End, because even in the 50s when Fountain Ferry was down there, there was an all-white amusement park, right? The blacks. My mom being a staple, I'm not gonna say a staple, but being someone who is from this community, born and raised, as my grandmother was.
No, a staple.
Yeah,
give her that.
Exactly, we give her that.
Yeah, give her that.
So I'm like 3 generations, Chickasaw
Yes, sir.
neighborhood. 3 generations.
3 generations.
Yeah, 3 generations.
Which means you're concerned about this stuff.
Absolutely. I'm concerned about it because this is where I'm from. It's where I feel most comfortable. Some people can go, now don't get it twisted, I like my peace, and I know being from this community and being in this community, you have to be observant.
Right.
Because we know what comes with these areas. You know what I mean? But being this is where I'm from, it's almost like I still have to be observant, but I'm comfortable.
What do you mean by comfortable? Just comfortable in the area? Oh yeah, I'm from here. I'm comfortable. Yeah, I look around because I know what guys do.
I know what guys do.
But I'm not worried.
But I'm not worried.
Right.
So I don't have to run around, having to protect myself at all times, because this is where I'm from. It's almost like your grandmother's street. From a child, and she still lives on that street. You feel like you can walk up and down that street all day.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
You ain't worrying about nothing. Well, that's how I feel in the West End.
Right. Tell me, just to touch back on what we was talking about, so what needs to happen in these communities? You think we need to try to reclaim it? You think we need to go to these people that's creating stores in these communities and soliciting business from black people and not paying back anything to the community? You think we need to address that? You think it needs to be addressed?
Absolutely.
So what are we talking about? The Indians, the Iranians, whoever?
Whoever.
If you ain't giving back and you in this community of hardship, then get on out of this community because you ain't doing nothing but drinking it.
You ain't doing nothing but bleeding it.
Right. What's your story, man? Who are you? Because a lot of people don't know.
Well, my name is Amai. I don't like to put no fancy things on it, but you know, Gerald, you know how we came up. We came up, you know, if you really think about it, we done been a part of a lot of things.
You and I? Of course.
And what I mean by just being in our age bracket, you know, we come from that era to where you had to write your telephone number down. And your mouthpiece had to be something to get a girl.
Right.
So we've been a part of that, which made our bones. That's why we can be as, we know how to talk.
That's why we can be as influential as we are now.
Absolutely, because we have social skills.
And it's important.
It's very important. So not only do we have social skills, but we also seen all the different things, the pages. We remember when there wasn't no cell phones.
Right.
We knew what it was like. See, I can remember when we got our first telephone in the house.
For sure.
Type situation.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It's like,
and now it's almost unheard of to have a line.
You couldn't even use it day one, could you? You had to wait till later?
Right. You see what I'm saying? And you only had one line.
Right.
It wasn't until later that you was able to click over and call away.
For sure.
And all that. So your phone would be off the hook.
Right.
When people was on it. But people didn't, you understand what I'm saying? So we just happened to be born in a monumental time in the 70s, man. Just right in the middle of everything that's going on now. Not in the middle, but we seeing a whole lot of it, man.
We are.
We've seen history being made. We've seen a lot of different things.
Are you encouraged? Are you looking at things like, man, it's just ugly right now? Are you encouraged?
Well, if I look at this community, I could be encouraged in a lot of different ways, but I also can look at it like, we got to get our hands on some things.
Right.
Because you have so many people outside the community coming inside the community. Now,
we going back to the last conversation?
Right. So with that being said, it's kind of like we need to act with a sense of urgency because there's a lot of people coming inside these communities that's draining these communities. Not only draining these communities, but want to put their stronghold. The Spanish community. I have nothing against Spanish people.
Right.
But at the same time, I want for mine the same thing everybody else wants for theirs.
For sure.
And I believe this west end of Louisville is hollow ground.
Yes.
It's hollow ground for us.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Even though this wasn't the first African American community.
It's been 100 years. Yeah, Smoketown.
Yeah, Smoketown.
Okay.
Yeah, Smoketown was.
Smoketown in Louisville.
East End.
Yeah, that was
That's
the first
African American community.
That's the foundation?
Absolutely. Of the city. So
they should feel proud about that. Is that why they cocky up there?
Man,
they should be.
Smoketown's the first African American community in the city. Right? 34. Remember I said 34? Before 34 was on. Yeah, Smoketown was already established.
Okay. Before the flood?
Before the flood. That's what
was it a project?
No, it was just that area. Smoketown.
Was it
a community.
Boom. Okay.
It's a whole community up there. Just like it's Chickasaw, but it's Smoketown.
Yeah.
But that's where most of your blacks were situated.
Smoketown in Louisville.
Yeah, in Louisville, because Louisville.
Most of them.
Louisville was a segregated city.
Louisville? Everything, America. Yeah.
But Louisville was.
But Kentucky is Republican by historically.
Yeah, Louisville was a very segregated city. This West End was very nice. If you really look at it, if you look at how these houses are situated, but once you get down this parkway, you'll see some of these older homes.
Man, they're big, beautiful.
So you can just imagine the land that they had. Like this house down here on 44, what that pastor's house down. And just imagine the land that had.
Yeah. So what's the plan, man? So what do we do? Because it sounds like you're trying to get some of this community back. So what?
I believe we have to, first and foremost, we have to set a common goal. Because what I may see may not be what the people want.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure one thing that I can agree on, that I'm pretty sure we all can agree on is we are being treated unfairly in this West End. Granted, we do have the YMCA and we got the hospital up there.
Yeah.
We got that track over there on Muhammad Ali. You know, we got a whole lot of good things.
You got people like Ty Moore Baker building schools in the community, Christian schools in the community.
Absolutely.
So the things happening, but they happening in the midst of other things just pulling from it.
Right.
Absolutely. I get you.
It's some things that's happening, but it's a lot of things that's taken away from it to where we're not really able to reap the full benefit of having a community of our own, where our dollars should go a whole lot further. Because a lot of the good, and this was a few years ago, Nielsen did a report, and it talked.
Who did?
Nielsen.
Yes,
like,
Nielsen.
Yeah, and basically what they was talking about was black buying power.
It's everything.
But they did it for the West End of Louisville. Do you know the West End of Louisville yearly generates $250 million? I mean, and when I say generates, I'm not talking about bonds. Generates. I'm talking about money that's inside of this community.
Did they earn?
Yes.
This ain't what they
Buying
spend.
power. Yeah,
Okay,
this
cool.
is buying power.
Okay.
So, but most of it has to go outside of this community
Because we don't have the things that we need.
Because we don't have carpet stores.
Boom.
We don't have a lot of the different things that we need. We have to.
What you pointed at me when you said corporate store for? You trying to shoot an idea at me?
No, I'm just, that's a real good one though.
I know.
A lot of people don't
You
think
looked
about
into
it. Linoleum, no, but I know it's something that you can't go up and down Broadway and actually find a place,
Right.
a depot where you can actually go in and find up to date material to put inside your home. So when you want to revamp your home or you want to rehab your home, when you're doing business in that sort, you have to outsource it to another community. So you might be in J-Town or you might be in St. Matthews, going out there looking at, materials and things of that sort.
I'm enjoying this conversation. So you're saying put everything back in the community.
Put
Why
everything
have people
that we
talked about that? Why have we
Put
failed to do that?
everything that we need, because a lot of things, I mean, that's just a part of keeping us separated and segregated to a certain degree. It's taking our black dollar and spreading it far and wide, but not within our community. Everybody's getting a piece of our money except for us, right? You know, a lot of these other communities, they say the Jewish community, the dollar might circulate 4 or 5 times. Cause I can go to you
Before it go outside the community.
and you go and pay dude to put your logos on your shirt. So he pays this person for the ink and the print.
Same community.
All in the same community, so that $1 goes a long way.
So do you need a bank in that community as well? Does that not matter much?
Well, I don't believe that matters much in its infancy stages.
Okay.
Now that would be something, later on
Sure.
that, we should really consider and think about is black-owned banks.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's another thing that kind of starves us out inside of our community is the red line, and where we can't get the proper funding, to rehab our homes.
Right.
And that's, we can go on for days and days
Right.
with that. A lot of people would say it's conspiracy theory, but I truly believe that certain sections of the city are red line, and people who live inside those communities who lack certain resources are denied loans and things of that nature.
So when you say red line, you mean by the people that can help out? They
Basically cordon it off. They basically cordon it off. They're cordon off a certain section of the city. Let's just use West Louisville for example. Now we're gonna make it hard for people with credit scores of this is just hypothetical for the sake of clarity. For credit scores under 700 to get loans for their property, because first we're gonna allow certain things to take place inside this community to where it's gonna drive the property value down, right? So now we're gonna make, since the property value is low, we're gonna make this a risky investment for us,
right,
to even try to rehab these things. So we're gonna put a block on people trying to get loans to keep their
There's
homes.
the red line.
There's the red line.
Keep it
So
at the
guess
bottom
what?
place.
Keep it in the bottom place. So now, let's say your taxes is too high. You can't pay your taxes. Now that just starts to accumulate, which is a compound interest. Because that's going to continue to just grow and grow.
Right.
Next thing you know, you'll lose your property. You'll lose it. someone else to come in, because right now it's a lot of big, it was, I think they put a freeze on it to where couldn't nobody outside of this specific community buy any properties inside because.
Urban gentrification?
Yes.
Curbing it, they're trying to curb it?
They're trying to curb it
I heard
because
something
people,
about that.
yeah, I think they put like a 7-year freeze on it.
But anytime they do something like that, May, what they also do is create a back door for those people to do it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can hide it, you can say it in public and pronounce that, but at the end, before you even pronounce that, you done let some people know in the back area.
But I'm gonna say it's almost like, it's almost like this too with me. I always say this. By the time a lot of our people get information, they on to something else.
Right.
So, because you had your wave of people trying to start to invest in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but by the time a lot of our people was even privy to the information,
a lot of
people had already milked it.
Bitcoin, for instance.
Right.
And I got some guys that do some day trading now. They still doing
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But it was a moment where it was a hush game to where
it still is for the big numbers.
But yeah, because they doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the information that we get is old. By the time we get it, it's old. They done already milked the game. They own something else that you don't know nothing about. And you might hear about this a year or 2 or 3, just depending on how lucrative it is. You might hear about this, a few years from now, 6 months, however long. But you don't get it hot off the press. We're not privy to a whole lot of the inside things. And why would you be?
For sure. How much time you do, man?
21.
You feel like going into it while you did that time? What happened? The charges?
Well, I had 2 separate cases. I actually had a state case that I was fighting.
Right.
And I ended up catching a federal case where I was out on bail, fighting the state case. So the state case was like a 15-count indictment. It was all drugs and guns.
Right.
And the federal case was actually some kilos of cocaine.
Right.
And yeah.
And you ended up doing 21 years?
21 flat. I had to do 20 first with the feds. And then and after I completed that sentence, which was 240 months, I had to come over here to the state and start on a fresh routine. So can you imagine? I left the federal system in 19.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, I was in South Carolina. I was in Estelle, South Carolina. I left the federal system. The Jefferson County sheriffs came down to South Carolina, picked me up, brought me back up where I started from the jail.
From the jail.
But I had already been sentenced, so I was really like,
right.
What in the world is going on? That's supposed to be taking me to the.
What's going on? You ain't know what it's fair at the time.
You taking me to the jail?
Did you?
Huh? No, I'm saying I had my time.
Oh, you know it's more cases coming.
No.
That's what it says, though, right? You go to jail.
Right, but no, that's the crazy.
I'm more explaining.
It was crazy because I had already been sentenced. They had already given me 15 years in the state. I already had my federal time. Okay, so I knew I had.
How much you do before they?
I did 18 flat.
18? No. How much did you do before they pulled you into jail in the state and talked about the feds? How much time did you do? Is
18.
It right? 18 years?
I was gone for 18 years.
And then
the sheriffs came and got me on my release date from the feds. The sheriffs rode down to South Carolina.
Had that motherfucker, man.
Picked me up, brought me back up here, and took me to
Louisville jail. So where it's 15 counts is still pending.
Nah, they weren't pending.
Okay.
I was already sentenced on them. I was thinking I was gonna go straight from the feds to the state.
I don't think the time was gonna run.
No, I thought I was gonna go straight from the fed.
Oh, they went back to the jail, so you had to go through that, the rolling form. Oh, man,
I thought I was gonna go straight to the phone.
You was sick.
I thought I was going straight to the
You
phone.
went back to the county, amongst them niggas and dope fiend niggas.
And started over after doing 18.
Did you give them some energy?
Structure. Yeah, I gave up a lot of energy, and I actually.
It was psychological vampires that you made coming in from the feds.
But the thing about it though, the tolerance for the bullcorn was really.
Your tolerance?
Yeah, but I had to humble myself.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got into the jail, I had to humble myself and say, mate, it's something here for you.
Right.
You need to see something. It's something up here for you.
Absolutely. Like where was your fifth? The new jail.
Yeah, the new jail. Got in there, man. 24 man dorms, 43 people.
Yeah, nigga.
So I didn't have a bed. Now I'm coming from the joint.
A cot on the floor. Did it have a cot that thing you put the
cot?
It
had a boat.
It you carried the mattress in with you.
Yeah, and a lot of people, because this is during the opioid epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
So it was stinky, it was funky, and I'm used to having structure, used to being up at a certain time, used to eating, you know, exercising, doing all these different things. I'm already into my bid. I've been done 18 years.
Yeah.
I'm already into my bid, so now you taking me from a structured environment and you bring me to a jail where anything goes.
And I can't get no sunshine.
Can't get no sunshine.
The exercise regimen is
so
thrown
I was up there
off.
for
These
like
cats is thrown off in the head. They have
I was
absolutely
up
no
there for like
intelligence.
4 months. Yeah, I mean, I was almost like the dorm rep when I got done because
They chose you to be in.
Yeah, because I was, you know, I'm used to stuff being clean, and you know how that jail is. The turn
You punch on anybody?
Nah,
They ain't making.
I've always been kind of reserved in that in that regard. I've learned throughout my travels and just dealing with people on an everyday basis that you can do a whole lot more finessing. Now, when it's time to
Honey's a wonderful thing. Honey's a wonderful thing, man. I'm taking that county jail, man. Every now I had to smack a couple.
Oh, you don't have to because some people ain't gonna believe shit stink.
Right.
But you will carry such an aura about you
That they let you lead.
and that you'll always have another motherfucker that's willing. Excuse my French.
Boom.
You always have somebody else that's willing without you even saying anything. But it's just like your style and see the way you carry and see that you humble and you lay back. And they'll be like, oh no, and they'll step up to the forefront. Not saying that I needed that.
Right.
But I always tried to, because I was really serious about change. Let me start with that. Once I got incarcerated, and it took me a few years. It didn't take me the whole 21 years to realize that change was needed.
Right.
Actually, it took me about 7 years in.
Right.
After being in for about 7 years, I could have came home and achieved the same result that I didn't
For
before.
sure. You was done.
Because my mind was already made up.
Listen, man, not to cut you off, and then you can go back to the second. You know, Kenny, man.
Yeah.
He read a letter that you wrote to him. We was in the hole down here,
Right.
right? Yeah, he was really happy that you was writing, man, because
He was
you
in
was
the hole.
providing him energy. But not just that, he just looked. If he wasn't in the hole, he would have been
Right.
bragging about the letters. But he came to me. I can't remember specifically what you said, but I remember it was profound, and I remember that it was something that made me go back in my cell and spin something around in my head, because in prison there's mediocre all around you, mediocrity, right? So when you encounter something, whether it's in a book or something else you see on TV, a statement or whatever it is, if it's something that's worthy of your serious attention, like, damn, that was powerful, it's a rare occasion.
Right. Absolutely.
So I went in my cell and spent that shit. I can't remember what it was. It just made me say, damn, okay, so I see what they thinking about in the feds.
Yeah, but see,
It's a much broader perspective,
it
brother.
is. It's the most vital, and I be trying to inform guys.
It's refreshing.
It's very refreshing, and I had a reality check when I left the feds and had to come back to get on Kentucky time.
Right. Boom.
Because in the feds, it's a collective. It's not a New York time. It's not a California time. It's a United States of America time. So a lot of the things that fly in Kentucky State Joint don't fly in the federal system.
Sure.
The way we play dominoes, 5 houses, that's not how they play in the federal system. So it's different.
Right.
You know,
5 houses win the game. They don't play it in the field.
now they play 3 houses.
And get on out. Let the next guy come.
Nickels don't count.
One out
You
of
know,
best
they
out
got,
3.
nickels don't count. Stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just they have different rules, right? The federal system has its own lingo. That's the feds, and I hear it out here now more than ever. Even down to crash out. Dudes have been saying crash out in the federal system. I mean,
It's probably, what's it, like 7 years out here?
huh?
About 7 years old out here? I started hearing about 7 years old.
Yeah,
how long they been talking about this
man.
in the Fed? Forever?
Forever. Like that. Just saying it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
On that type of time.
Right, on that type of time. That's federal.
It's
Why
something
wouldn't
I
it
can
start
go-
from a federal place though, man? I'm not surprised to hear that.
It's
It's federal.
yeah, not only that, but there are so many different you have so many different cities
Mm-hmm.
that come together under one accord, under one roof.
Can people in Louisville become Louisville, or is this Kentucky thing?
No, I've always represented the city, but
Right.
being from Kentucky, I was known as being from Kentucky.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you, and this is just honest to God truth. A lot of dudes didn't know where I was from. I remember I had a guy ask me one time. He said, "Where you from?" And I said, "Where I look like I'm from." He said, "Chicago." I said, "No." He said, "Cincinnati." I said, "No." He said, New York. I said, no. He said, where you from? I said, Kentucky.
He gave
You
you
know
all
what he
the
told me?
things be based on your level of intelligence and how you
And
move.
just how I move, right. So I just go to show you, people will peg you before they even know you.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I've been to a whole lot of states, bro. And everywhere I've been, they was receptive to my style.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, because I got a cool fucking style.
Right.
But two, because I meant well.
That's right.
And I came concerned about the well-being. You know, if I come somewhere, I'm concerned about what's going on. How's everything going this way, man? Tell me about. I'm concerned about the advice of the natives.
That's it. That's right.
But they need to be concerned about where I'm coming to.
That's right.
They needed to be. That's the days over.
But that made me look at everything. It made me look at a lot of things different because he went through all these different cities. He had this preconceived notion of who I was based on how I moved and how I carried myself, right? So when I said I was from Kentucky, you know what he said? You don't look like somebody from Kentucky.
What does that look like?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, what's a dude from Kentucky look
Wait,
like?
you got some cowboy boots.
What does he look like? I said, yeah, and guess what? It's a city full of dudes just like me.
Yeah, nigga, don't get
Just
fooled.
Don't get fooled.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not a one of, I'm a one of one.
Right?
But I'm a product of my environment too.
For sure.
So I carry the slang, I carry the swag of the city everywhere I go. So don't think it's just a one-off. Because I come from a collective of guys. You know what I mean? To some degree, that hold on to some of the same
I mean,
things.
your
I
name
hold on to
rings,
okay.
man. You was young when you started hustling. A whole lot younger than a lot of people. You was hustling. You had a name. You was a fly guy. The girls liked you. Nice cars.
Yeah.
You done with all that?
Yes, that's
I mean, you
sacrifice.
got a nice woman. You know, you got a nice car, but the drugs to get it. You done with it?
No, I've actually seen what they actually do to the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of, because if you look at it, Jett, if we really want to be honest with ourselves,
Right.
And that's where we have to start with ourselves. The things that's going on today is basically a continuation of what we laid down as youngsters.
You feel responsible?
I mean, you know, it's free will.
As much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's free will. But at the same time, when I go to certain areas of my community
You see
and I see certain things, I know exactly why they are doing those certain things right there, right now, and I can take the blame for that. Does that make sense?
What do you do about it? Nothing. You just look at it and say, damn.
It's almost like it spins on its own axis.
I know.
The only thing I can do now is to stand opposed,
Boom.
right? Not to the degree to where I'm a chastised or I'm ashamed or, you know, to that manner.
You just
But at
gonna
the
be an
same time,
example of
I'm gonna be an
something
example. Okay, you see me.
You
how
saw
I
me do
move,
that?
Then watch me do this.
See me do this.
See me do this.
Please
And
follow
hopefully-
me.
and
Please
hopefully-
continue to follow
Right.
me.
And hopefully I can inspire you to do what's right the same way I inspired you to do what's wrong.
Because these people you might know, you just going out
And
there.
what's the
just
crazy
saying,
thing
right.
about it is, you know, being gone for, you know, anything over a decade.
Yep.
You will see the lapse in that generation. You will see it. So a lot of these people I see out here now,
Yeah. How you feel about life, man?
might know your mama, might know
You
your
might know
daddy,
their mom.
might know your
Do
mama.
you
your
ask
daddy.
it often when you run into the young kids? What's your daddy?
Sometimes, yeah. What's your daddy name, man?
Who's your mama?
Same way they used to do with us.
Yeah.
What's your mama name?
Because it's important. Because it tells you a lot. Let me determine the type of individual where you are.
What the coffee come from?
And also let me see what you're doing. So I might go tell on you, nigga.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what's wrong with your son, man?
Absolutely. See,
Like,
and
get it
and
together.
I'm cut from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. This is crazy because I kind of watch my interaction with young folks.
Okay.
And when I say that, I'm not saying it from being scared of them because I understand they don't weigh the consequences.
Right.
And a lot of them out here just moving on autopilot. They
Yeah.
don't know from what they just
Half.
gone. So one day I was in a gas station, man. I was on the south side. I'm in the gas station. And I'm sitting there, I'm standing behind the guy in the line, so I look out, you know, just being observant. I look out. I see this black Kia with these tinted windows. It just swoops in.
On you?
Yeah, it swoops in the gas station. Okay, my
Okay,
car's parked like this
right,
by
I
the
get
pump. They come in like this. I'm in the store, so I'm looking straight inside their car. I can't see inside the
Right.
car because the windows is
For sure.
tinted. The front windshield is tinted.
Right.
So I'm like, man, this guy right like, you know, some you know, when you've been on bull corn,
Yeah.
you recognize bull
So
corn.
with them, let me pay more attention.
Yeah, so I don't want to be too, you know what I mean? I'm going to see, but I'm not going to see. You understand? But I'm going to see everything.
Ain't no question.
Right.
My safety's involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see this back door swing open. It's a 4-door. I see this back door swing open. I see this youngster jump out. He got his hoodie on. He got his mask. He got his all black cone. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh man. But I see his phone in his hand. You know, I'm peeping the scene. I see the phone in his hand. I say, ah. So when he come in the store,
So what's
first
the
thing I do
phone
is
mean?
size
He
him
ain't on
up.
the bullshit.
No, I just see he got his phone right in his hand. So he ain't prepared to do something.
Okay, I
if he
get
was
you.
gonna do
Boom.
something, he wouldn't have
He
the
wouldn't be
phone
there.
out. He
Boom.
would probably left
I
it in
get
the
you.
car.
For them. Yeah.
Right. So when I see that phone, so now I want to see the screen. So I see the screen. I see he got the cash out. He got the cash out.
You meddle at the screen.
I mean, I'm on everything.
What's up with this?
Right. So my first thing in there is to speak to him.
Mhm.
Hey, what's going on, man? He said, hey,
Reception was good.
reception's good. It's great. Because I can, the hint of respect is there in his
Mhm.
voice. So I see the cash outs and I'm sizing the whole scene up. I say, oh, he got the cash out. Oh, he's in the back. He's the back passenger. This is a stolen car. Because ain't no man here to do in the back seat supposed to be paying for gas. All for cash out.
So you know they did, bro.
I know they did, bro.
Mhm.
Somebody got $2-3 on the cash out.
Yeah.
He's coming to pay for the gas.
They ain't on nothing.
They ain't on nothing.
Hell, I took back a
So,
little
you
bit
know,
about it.
I done analyzed the whole thing. I'm the profiler.
Did you speak to him?
You got, yeah, I spoke to him. So when I seen
You
this,
got a profile.
because you got a profiler. You got a profiler.
It's just the word jumped in.
Yeah.
Profile, man.
You got a profile,
Yeah.
right?
It's important.
It's very important.
The meaning,
To be-
the outcome of the profiles was
Absolutely. To be
different.
observant is to be alive out here now.
Right.
You might not be into nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody you with might be into something. Or the area you in, there might be something going on. So
Mhm.
you got to be observant because people out here, they just, it's like the evil that's out here, man. It's just out there.
It's dangerous.
In broad daylight.
Yeah.
It's walking around.
Mm-hmm.
In broad daylight, you don't care about the cover of darkness.
Right.
You know, when we was kids, it's all about the cover of darkness.
Right. For sure.
Now, it's anytime, anywhere. So I speak to him and say, hey man, it's how
Anytime, anywhere.
I kind of, I don't want to use the word Sunday, but I already sized him up. He couldn't be nowhere, he's between the ages of 14 and 16.
So threat level is down to what?
It's
Zero?
It's down to nil,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I say, hey man, I turn to him and I say, hey man, be careful, man.
Yeah.
I said, it's a sunny day out here today, man. People gonna be out and about.
That was your way of loving him?
Just be careful. You know what he said?
What?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got him.
Almost made you want to hug him.
Got him.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm dealing with kids. And I also know you cut from a cloth because you still got respect for your elders.
Manners.
Manners,
Mhm.
right? Get my stuff, go outside the store. I'm walking towards my car, which is walking towards them.
That car, you right
Yeah.
next to him.
I'm right next to him. Driver's side window come down.
Where's he at? He in the car?
He's still in the store.
Driver's
He was
side window
behind
come
me.
down.
Yeah, driver's side.
Driver's side window close to your car?
Yeah, it's like this.
Mhm.
His driver's side, the gas pump side.
You're comfortable now though, right?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
But why is this coming down?
Yeah, why is it coming down? So now I get to get up, but I want to see what I want to see anyway. So I really want to see what's going on inside
Mhm.
this car. I'm met man, but at the same time, he's a young brother.
You
So I
already looking,
see-
so let me fulfill my thirst.
Hey, OG, can I have one of them blacks? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Opportunity to talk.
Absolutely. Walk straight over to the car, because I really want to see what's going on inside
Right.
this car. But as when I seen that window roll down, I seen him, he got his mask and hood and stuff
Right.
on. But now I can see there's two more little dudes in the back seat.
Other
So
than
they
the
fi-
one that got out,
So they
they found
5
deep
deep.
in all black with mask on. What the fuck is
So
you
when I
looking at
walk over,
doing?
look, so I walk over to the com to give him the black, cause that's what I really want to do.
Right.
I want to respect you guys'
Mhm.
time. I walk over and give him the
Black
black.
sheep for that, ain't it?
Yeah, I walk over to the car to give him a black, and I look in the car, and you already know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody got straps. So I tell him, I say, hey man, listen. I said, if you think I'm the only one that recognize y'all on bullshit,
You gotta be out of your
you gotta
fucking
be out of your
mind.
mind.
Tight the fuck
I said,
up.
I recognize bullshit when I see it. I said, man, y'all out of pocket. I said, man, listen. Cause I don't want to go too far.
For
with
sure.
them, Cause they strapped.
Times
They ain't-
changing. Times passing too.
Cause he,
I know it.
And guess what he said though? He said yes sir too. So I can bite down on him just a little bit more. Not to the point to where I'm pushing to the.
But he gave me to come on.
But he gave me to come on when he asked me for a black, and it was my way.
When he said yes, sir, as a response,
exactly.
I'll take some more.
Man, listen, man, just listen, y'all. I said, listen, be careful. I'm not going to tell y'all what y'all. I'm going to appeal to your moral self, your conscious self, because I see you got manners. I'm just going to put something on your mind, man.
Right.
And if you're conscious enough, you might tell your partners when they get back in the car, hey, man, you know what, man? Let's just go home, man.
Yo,
I
dog.
feel like,
Let me out.
Let me out.
Let me out.
I don't even feel right now. You understand what I'm saying? But I didn't want to push it too far to where, who are you, man? You ain't my daddy. That's a whole other thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to open up a can of worms.
You know what, man? I'm opening that can of worms. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's exactly what they need. But I don't want to be a daddy. But I don't mind them saying that. I'm gonna push it a little farther. I don't care about them saying that. Damn right ain't your daddy. I ain't have none. You got one? Fucking right ain't your daddy. I just mean you well. I mean you well, bro. Like all of my intentions is good.
That's right.
You know, I don't mean no harm, bro. But I'm pushing past a certain point. And when I realize they ready to get going, they're no longer receptive to what it is that I'm saying, yeah, I'm gone.
I'm out.
But man, while I'm here, nigga, I'm pushing hard.
Yeah, man.
And I love you. At the end of the conversation, it's sad.
Right.
Man, I love every one of you in here.
That's
what
you
I ever do it all
be
again.
careful, man. I said, y'all gotta be careful, man.
Man, I'm passing out cards and everything to them cats right there, man. Man, pull up. And then, where you know, you've been in my place. Pull up, bro. Let's sit down and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
I ain't smoking or drinking no more, so we can't do that, but we can have a positive conversation.
Absolutely.
And I'm at the place to where I'm trying to encourage people, man, to be around me more, man, because people need an example, man. They need an example, bro. They don't just need. Okay, so here's the thing. When you asking people to do something different from what it is that they do to provide for themselves, you have to tell them what it is that they can do, or at least give them a separate alternative, bro. People ain't listening to nothing that has nothing to do with allowing them to proceed forward in some area of finances where they can provide for their family, bro.
You're right.
They ain't hearing that, bro. And I don't really know nothing to tell people to do outside of what they're doing. The only thing I can tell them is, yeah, true, I don't have an alternative for what you're doing. But I tell you this, it's gonna get you there.
Yeah, what you doing?
And you don't want that. See, I heard you still got opportunity to go find some opportunity. You see what I'm saying? You can find some type of something out here and there. You stuck. The people that you care about, they gone.
That's right.
Most of them. The people that you would like to hang around, the people that you would like to hang around and stay and be consistent and supportive of you while you're there, they gone.
And I don't want to, and I had spoke to this on another one, on another podium I had spoke on. And I was telling them youngsters, and I was expressing to them that when I see them out and they moving around, I watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know one thing, they ain't all the way here. And when I say that, I'm not talking about they retarded or anything. Right. They're just not really thinking about the 10-second rule and how, the things that you do is going to have consequences.
You know why they're not?
Their brains ain't fully developed.
That, and they come out here and they're existing and functioning in a society that ain't going to do the 10 seconds. Why you want me to? I can't adopt a rule that my peers ain't going to adopt, and then it leaves me at a short disadvantage as a result of me adopting that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So they ain't going to adopt nothing that their peers ain't on, and them kids is on them. Here's what needs to happen. I don't care about them shooting fast. It don't bother me. What I don't like is that they ruining their lives. A time is getting ready to come, or possibly come, where people may need to be armed to protect themselves. Who knows? I don't care about how quick you shoot. Your reason for shooting. Right. And why are you hurting everybody that you encounter? Who done hurt you, little bro, little sister? Because these little sisters is out here bad too, man. Oh, man, they are. Man, listen, man. It's been my absolute pleasure having you around. Our conversation continues way outside of this. We got to this number. You done been to my home.
That's right.
You're a friend of mine, man. I told you from the door, man. Thank you for coming through and leaving. Important, man. Please tell them 2 characteristics. One, you've always had these 2 characteristics. One of them, you'll take no further. You won't go no further with it. You'll leave it here at this podcast. And the other one, you'll pursue it more. You got 2 characteristics?
Being influential is one I continue to push forward.
Yes, sir.
Being charismatic, a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll continue with that one, but I won't mislead the people this time.
So
now, the other one, the other characteristic that I had was being a bona fide hustler for the wrong thing.
For the wrong thing.
For the wrong thing. I'm gonna continue to hustle, but it's not gonna be for the wrong thing.
So, Angie, show me your greatness, man.
Show me your greatness.